This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Glad that you have joined us this morning. Jeff Beals at your service from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate Company. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing, premier commercial and residential roofing contractor to the stars and pretty much everyone else in Omaha metropolitan area. Well, it's now time to introduce my co-host, a man sitting next to me, a legendary real estate deal maker, someone who's wearing a circa 2006 Grow Omaha polo shirt, Trenton Magid.
I'm bringing back the bling. We need some new merch.
Where did you find that? Did you have that buried?
I got two of these.
Really?
In my closet.
I think, if I remember correctly, we had that shirt made somewhere in that 05, 06 range. So that's an old shirt.
Oh, yeah. We got to bring it back. I get at least 3 or 4 requests for Grow Omaha merch every week. So we'll see what we can do.
Well, we'll know we're a big-time success if our Grow Omaha merchandise is for sale at any of the stores in Nebraska Crossing someday, because that is the place where big-name brands go to live. And a lot of the stores that only want to have one location in Nebraska, they'll say, well, we're going to do it at Nebraska Crossing because they have all of these amenities located right off Interstate 80. It's accessible for more than just Omaha. People in Lincoln and beyond can get there real easily. And, of course, they have Fast Cash. And that's where you can sign up using your Nebraska Crossing app, and then whatever credit card you associate with your Fast Cash app on the Nebraska Crossing app, use that credit card all the time, and you get 15% back on all your cash purchases, and you can use it at any of the stores.
Well, Rod and Johanna could do far worse than to have Grow Omaha merchandise at Scarlet Highway.
Yeah, maybe we could cut a deal with them and see if that is a doable thing.
A little Grow Omaha shrine or something like that.
If they're listening right now, they're probably like, "Oh, geez, how do we get out of this one?"
Absolutely.
How do we get out and not having their stuff in there now that Trenton is
just wait till they have the Grow Omaha open house and we have to be there and not signing body parts this time.
I was going to mention something, but that comment just completely caused me to lose my train of thought. So onward to the news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Eagle Mortgage is located at 114th and Davenport, and they'll help you with FHA, VA, or conventional loans. They do all of that. They do a great job of it, and their staff is very customer service oriented because they know it is you okay over there?
Sorry, I'm just adjusting.
Okay. All right, because to the KFAB masses, that sounds like or something like that.
Well, that sounded like that anyway.
Anyway, Eagle Mortgage will take good care of you, get that pre-approval letter, and have them on your side when you're going into the house searching and house refinancing battle. All right, first up on the docket, Trenton, WWT Channel 6, which has been located in its current studios for about 70 years or more.
It was black and white when they started.
Oh, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah. 70 years or more. They're moving, but they're not moving far, just about 50 feet to the west into part of the Blackstone Plaza building. This is the building that recently was the Kiewit headquarters. It still is the headquarters for Warren Buffett and his executive staff.
And they said like a 15-year, 20-year lease there, yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of cool, and so yeah, they won't have to get big moving trucks, I suppose, because it's going to be so close. But what's interesting about this is it opens the current WWT building up for redevelopment, because that whole area is becoming very densified. We talked a few weeks ago about a 9-story mixed-use building going just a little bit to the west. But Trenton, I mean, if you take WWT out of their current 2-story smallish building, put it as part of the Blackstone building, you can have yet another mixed-use building there.
Absolutely. It sounds like it's coming down, so it's got its full useful life, I'm thinking.
And then if we go a little bit further to the east, into what some people refer to as West Old Market, there is a classic old building that we refer to as the O'Keefe Elevator Building. And O'Keefe is no longer in that building, but plans call, and by the way, the address is 1402 Jones Street, like I said, just west of the Old Market. Plans call for turning that into 19 residential condos, along with 13,500 square feet of retail space. The condos would be about 22 to 2,300 square feet each.
Those are nice-sized condos.
Yeah, and by downtown standards, those are actually pretty big.
That was a really cool building, though. I remember about 20 years ago, something when they remodeled that for O'Keefe and did a nice job. So it's got some good bones.
I remember going, I think there was some open house or something like that, because I remember touring it as well, and it is a cool building. All right, but let's talk about that whole area. That area, it seems like a western extension of the old market. It looks a lot like the old market, but it doesn't have the foot traffic. It doesn't have the intensity of activity, and maybe some of that's by design because it's a little more residential. But, with projects like this, I mean, I would imagine it's only a matter of time before there's more foot traffic in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, 14th and Jones, we're not really going that far off the old market, and I kind of think it is the old market, but I think I'd rather live there than on 12th and Howard above a restaurant or something like that, personally.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit quieter. Maybe not as much late night stuff going on.
It ages me, though,
Yeah, that's just a part of life, Trenton. I mean, it happens to all of us. Speaking of aging, the Sokol Auditorium has been looking maybe a little on the tired side lately.
Yes.
But that's about to change. A local company called 1% Productions purchasing the building, and they plan to renovate it substantially and invest about $2.5 million above and beyond the purchase price. Now, when it's done, it would still be a music venue like it has been, and it could also be available for other programs, receptions,
Interestingly,
parties,
they have to change
conventions,
the name.
weddings, etc. So let's go there. What's the name going to be?
I think the article said the name, didn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be called the Admiral.
That's right.
And apparently that's going to be in tribute to an old movie theater at 40th and Farnham, which was torn down. Or no, not 40th and Farnham, further east than that. It was closer to downtown, if I remember correctly. But,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But it's been gone for a while. And like a lot of old venues and landmarks, when it's torn down, it's kind of sad. And there's always a group of people who understandably are disappointed to see it go. And I think the Admiral is one of those.
It should have been like the venue formerly known as Sokol Hall.
Why is that?
It'd be kind of fun, like Prince or something like that, Just make a reference.
Yeah. Maybe in their advertising for the first year, they'll do that.
No charge.
Live at the Admiral, formerly known as Sokol Hall.
I like it.
I could get a gig doing some of those things. Anyway, so I think that's a nice thing for that neighborhood. Candidly, I've only been in there a couple of times. I haven't been to too many things there, but
I used to see the Feint there. It was awesome. It was scary, and you'd go up on the mezzanine. It reminds me the new Steelhouse Omaha that's going up right now by Holland Center. Reminds me of a modern version of Sokol Hall, and you didn't have the safest feeling when you're up there in the mezzanine and a bunch of sweaty people are around you and stuff. But I've kind of aged out of that as well. But we're basically there's going to be a lot of bands that need to start practicing or even being formed with all these music venues that we're getting in the city center district on 84th Street for La Vista's new downtown, or whatever you want to call it. New downtown, that sounds weird. But all these different venues that are popping up, we need performers.
Amen. Well, Omaha-based Black Elk Development has announced plans for a 156,000 square foot industrial building to be constructed in Papillion. This is going to be on a 13-acre site right northeast of 138th and Highway 370. It's immediately east of the massive 2.1 million square foot Amazon Regional Distribution Center. In fact, this warehouse will share the same entrance with Amazon. And this This continues a big trend of really large construction projects in that general area. And compared to the Amazon and some of the data centers, I guess it's actually small, but 156,000 square foot warehouse is pretty sizable. And it's been interesting just to see the scale and amount and size of these industrial projects in Sarpy County.
Yeah, very capable developers. And I believe that the smallest tenant is about half that building, about 78,000 feet. And so it'll be a nice modern high cube warehouse with a lot of docks and speed bays and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we're going to take our first break of the hour. When we come back, we're going to do our commercial real estate development spotlight brought to you by Noddle Companies a little bit earlier than usual. Got some news there. And then we're going to talk about a couple of other projects. And later in the show, we're going to bring on Ryan Saywall from McCarthy Building Companies to kind of talk about a couple construction projects around town. So great stuff. You don't want to miss any of it. And you are listening to Grow Omaha on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And Trenton and I will be back right after this.
A little choppy.
He's here.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, yeah, as a radio host, it's kind of hard if you can't talk.
Yeah. It is hard. Okay. All right. Are we golden? We're golden. Okay.
Yeah, you want to adjust it.
No, you just did, because you're supposed to be sitting there.
What's that? What's the
That
problem?
he's supposed to adjust it, the microphone before we start.
He's slacking, Amy.
Yeah. No, it's usually like that, like the elbow goes up or down, so it's not on your face, it's right here.
That way people can see this. They can see above my finger and below my finger, right? It's probably for the best. What's this guy talking about?
Beef. High beef. High beef department.
Oh, okay. It sounded kind of. Hello? Oh, okay. It was 40th. The Admiral was at 40th and Farnham? Okay. Okay, I appreciate the update. Thanks. Bye.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want.
I told you there was a way to step into another
good.
brain and be much sharper, more focused.
That makes Manny's walk. They are building General Fire.
Oh, yeah?
This is my wife, Amy.
Hi, nice to meet you.
This is Delaney.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, how you
This
doing?
is Ryan.
Pleasure.
Ryan, nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
Say
Pleasure
well.
to meet
Say
you.
well.
Say well.
Say well.
Say well.
Okay.
So we sayed it right. We say-walled it right.
The,
Yes, sir.
he's market leader for Nebraska, and they are building General Fire.
Okay, so we'll just
Yep.
throw that in as part of
Yep.
our talk with
Sure.
you then.
Awesome.
Excellent.
What do you want him, Amy? So are you good with this, Amy? Hold on. She wanted me to adjust it during the show. It didn't sound too good.
I'm so sorry.
Were you listening on the way in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan, do you mind moving like
Closer?
Whatever.
Trench?
I've got my shots and everything.
There is another camera over there.
Okay.
So when
All right.
yes.
I might just touch it during
Yeah,
the
there you go.
He only does that with people he likes. A
Doesn't
lot.
bite.
A lot.
This is about the 910th show, maybe.
Is that right?
2004.
Wow.
So,
This is old bling.
I like it.
We gotta get some merch.
yeah, sure. If they think you'll buy it.
You think what? 2,000-3,000 shirts?
So 52 times 17.5, about 910 shows.
Very sad.
Wow.
That's not bad. But then there were some random Christmases a couple times
And
we didn't go.
and Nebraska.
5 seconds.
And Nebraska football games sometimes used to bump us.
So right. You're gonna talk right.
Yeah. You want him to come in? You got Jeff in there too? Which it's optional, but yeah.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service. This is Grow Omaha, brought to you by NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate Company. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing. Eric Obrumt and the team at D&M Roofing do a great job taking care of, well, roofs. And it doesn't matter whether it's a warehouse or an office building or your own home. They do a darn good job of it. Top-notch workmanship, high-quality materials, and great customer service. You can find them online at dndmroofing.com.
I'll vouch for him.
Loyal listener Terry Beals just called in at the break and told me that indeed the Admiral Theater was at 40th and Farnham.
Excellent. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, and now
Any relation?
yeah, a little bit.
Okay. His dad.
And a couple other things that we wanted to bring up in this segment. One of them was, could a new police headquarters be in the works?
Wow.
It could. Mayor Jean Stothert had a press conference this week in which she announced her new chief of staff, who happens to be Tom Warren, who at one time was chief of police in the city of Omaha, more recently had been head of the Urban League. Good man, good leader, a lot of history serving Omaha.
Good choice.
In that conference, there was talk about, hey, could we start to explore the idea of a new police headquarters? Now, the current one is located at about, 15th and Howard? 15th and Howard, probably?
Right across from the Max, yeah.
Yeah. And so, by the way, I was maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, I found something online. It said the ugliest buildings in all 50 states.
No way.
And so I went through it, and it was in alphabetical order. So I thought, I'm just, I've got nothing but time. So I went through from Alabama or whatever the first state is, and worked my way through. And there were some pretty damned ugly buildings in some of these states. We get to Nebraska, and lo and behold, it's the Omaha Police Headquarters.
It's not that bad.
Well, according to someone, it's the ugliest building in the state.
Apparently, they didn't want big picture windows on that thing.
Yeah, it is a lot of concrete.
Did they say when it was built? Probably the 70s, maybe.
To me, I don't know, but it looks to me like an early 70s thing. But I don't know. I can't remember. I was pretty little in the early 70s. But at any rate, I can think of some buildings in town that are uglier.
Yeah.
But
let's start naming them. No,
let's start.
We're a family show.
None of them would be your clients, though.
We don't do building shaming here. Well, sometimes we have.
The latest Brad Williams construction video is now available on growomaha.com. If you want to see it, just go to growomaha.com and then click on shows. Once you click on shows, there's a little drop-down menu, and then you look for a construction update. Anyway, some of the things he talks about are Elkhorn Station, La Vista City Center, I-29 widening in Council Bluffs, downtown Ralston. But Trenton, I want to mention this Elkhorn Station. I was in downtown Elkhorn yesterday afternoon. And by the way, they're getting ready for Elkhorn Days parade this weekend and the celebration.
Excellent.
And the area was really hopping. But this building is right on Main Street, few doors south of Bella Vita Restaurant, which is a good place. And
by the tracks.
Yeah, it is. Well, and the reason it's right by the tracks is that whole area was called Elkhorn Station back in the day. And anyway,
there you go.
Pretty cool. A nice 4-story building. Street level retail will be a pretty nice project. But anyway, go check out that Brad Williams Grow Omaha construction update that was recently put on the site. You'll like it. It's pretty cool stuff. All right, another thing we want to mention is an interesting little project. And I say little because it's on a 0.28 acre lot, but it's a residential lot in the Little Italy Dolman neighborhood, 4th and Woolworth. Plans call for clearing the site of a residential building, and then work would begin on a 2-story building that would have 5 market-rate rental units, basically row houses. Construction should begin in September. But this is a trend we're also seeing. Lots of these little row houses going into this urban neighborhood on the south side of downtown.
We like density, and density means more people and more amenities, maybe some more traffic, but it makes it more walkable. And we're really going back, as my dad would have called it, the old neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Well, it is now time for our real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. Noddle Companies is an Omaha-based full-service real estate development company doing all sorts of premium projects in the Omaha metropolitan area and in other cities as well. Here in Omaha, they have projects such as Exarban Village, Rivers Edge, the Builders District, doing some amazing things west of Village Point with some really nice medical office buildings. But today we talk about their project in the Papillion area called Steel Ridge. Now, Steel Ridge is on the northeast corner of Interstate 80 and Highway 370. And a couple of car dealerships have already been built in that area. Well, Trenton, there's another one coming. Construction bids are due later this month for an H&H Chevy dealership. This will be a 63,500 square foot building. Another building will be constructed on the site called H&H Recorp Building. But that Steel Ridge area is really, really cool. And again, we were talking about all of the blockbuster mega projects in and around the Highway 50 and Highway 370 area. This is just a little bit west of that.
Yeah, and Steel Ridge, there's also a Steel Ridge South, but Steel Ridge also not only is it up on the interstate, but it's also the northwest corner of Highway 50 and Highway 370.
Yeah.
There's Pella Windows' new headquarters are a couple years old, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, because I said northeast of I-80 and 370, but it's also, because it goes all the way down to Highway 50, doesn't it?
Yep.
All right, so Steel Ridge H&H Chevy dealership coming soon, construction starting soon. That is your real estate development spotlight brought to you by Noddle Companies. If you want to get a hold of Noddle Companies, best thing to do is go to the website. And appropriately enough, it's noddlecompanies.com. We're going to take our middle of the show break, and when we come back, we're going to bring on Ryan Saywall from McCarthy Building Companies. And we're going to talk about some projects going on around town. Everyone loves to hear about projects. It's one of the big reasons why you listen to Grow Omaha. So stay with us. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by NAI, NP Dodge, and D&M Roofing on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Okay, so we'll grab.
Thanks for making it.
Yeah.
We'll grab a little bit of time after this. And
Sounds good.
Tear right into it.
So what do you think? I bet with Nebraska football, we're probably right, just under 900 shows, maybe.
Yeah, because there were a few of those years we would lose like 3 or 4 shows a year because if the Huskers started at a certain time, because they.
But when did Huskers stop being on here?
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
So we'll call this a 900 throw for you.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. I love it. It's perfect.
Probably be some sort of prize or a free giveaway.
So you got Buena Vista Bison, the Fighting Bison.
Yes. New high school,
And
and we're doing a new middle school on 42nd and Y.
In about a week, we're closing on the next property, the next 7 or 8 acres for them. They're buying the
Is that right?
OPS, yeah.
Oh,
So you may have another project.
there you go.
And is the VA hospital done?
Yeah, and we actually, it'd be awesome to talk about that if we could.
Love to.
We just won Stanley Cup for McCarthy, best project of the year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So that's huge. How big a project was that?
It was about $86 million. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So are they tearing down the old one?
They're not. I mean, that hospital still needs some work, and so there's future plans, but not in the near future. So
Do they have enough? They need the capacity.
they do, yeah. The back when the
It's just gonna be on YouTube. So
yeah,
don't film it.
back when the there was a big project planned and that kind of tanked.
Right.
The VA.
God, I remember 5-7 years ago the VA was calling around saying, "Yeah, we need 2,000 parking stalls nearby."
Yeah,
And
right.
I don't know what they ended up doing.
They built a new garage, unfortunately, right in front of the beautiful building we built. But
so you're done there,
yeah, we're done.
right?
Yep, we just finished last year.
So okay, we'll talk about what's the Stanley Cup called? What's the,
It's called the Roger Burnett Award. He was the first president for McCarthy that didn't have the last name McCarthy. So
oh, that's awesome.
yep,
150 years old.
157. Yep.
Wow.
1864.
Based. Where did it start?
It started in Michigan, but we're headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri now.
Sure.
From Michigan to St. Louis.
Yes, sir. Midwest through and through.
Yeah. Okay. Well, should be good to go. So.
The caller from earlier wanted to know if the Cubs won last night. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
Wrong show.
No idea.
Yeah.
It's called the internet.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
Do you want me to ask the Grow Omaha guys? I don't
Remember
know.
calling?
No idea.
Remember calling information?
I kind of like the Cubs.
411.
Yeah. Well, Stephen Wright, remember that comedian?
Yeah. What do you say?
He had some gig or something like that. He's like, I couldn't find my socks, so I called information. I said, I have information. I can't find my socks. The operator said they're behind the couch. I looked, they were.
And then remember 1-800-555-1212?
What was that?
I think it was like the 411 for 800 numbers.
Oh, okay. I figured you were going to talk about like 1976.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember any of
like
that.
callbacks, yeah.
I don't remember any of that.
That was the old joke that it's a total double standard because when men talk dirty to women, it's sexual harassment, but when women talk dirty to men, it's $9.45 a minute.
I remember that joke. Yes, I remember that joke.
That's only for the uncut version, ladies.
There you go. That's why you listen to Girl Uncut.
Little nuggets.
that you can't find anywhere else, thank God. So are you from this area, or did you move up from St. Louis?
I grew up in Wisconsin, but have been here since 2007. So.
Oh, okay. Come here for a job or
Yep.
something?
Yep.
Okay.
How long you been with McCarthy?
16 years. So we started working for Allegiant Health. So
Oh, yeah.
all their 5 area hospitals we built. Pretty
So
much
you were
all
kind of like
those.
an Omaha-based guy for
Yeah,
McCarthy
for
before
a
they
while.
had an office
Yeah,
here?
exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Where's that your car?
And,
Yeah.
you're called Nebraska Market Leader?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where was your office before this one? I forgot.
We were not too far down the road. You know where what is that place? There's a couple car dealerships. It's just on 144th.
Oh yeah, I know where you were. I did sold everything. You were at Southwestern Plaza.
Yeah.
I remember
yeah,
that.
Right back there. Yeah.
I totally remember that. Yeah. We spent some time together during that time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We did. And Trenton helped us find our new piece of land.
That's
It's
another
awesome.
show. Yeah, well, we can talk about that.
So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna lead off with that project that's over by Omaha Track and
Sure. Yeah.
Tommy's and all
General
that.
Fire.
And that's where their headquarters
Yep.
is too.
Okay, and then I'll
Yep.
let Trenton kind of take over the
Yep.
rest of the interview, and then we'll go probably about. When do we come? How much more before we
You guys
come?
have a lot of time, because I actually dragged some of the commercials from the end up to this.
Oh, sweet.
for
Okay.
extra,
So we could do like a 10-minute thing
Yeah.
and still have enough time for the lightning round?
Totally, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So we'll do
you're
like a
all set.
10-minute
Okay.
deal.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Which is actually a little longer than a lot of our interviews these days
Yeah.
because we've been compacting them.
We'll get a call
Yeah.
from our sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be okay.
I
know Pat Sokol will.
We were going to put you on in the second segment and then have a little buffer between you and our
Yeah.
sponsor, but they can take it.
Are you gonna tease him? Tell me you were, because he was on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was your warm-up act.
Yeah.
Don't
right.
please don't rub it in.
Yeah. No, I won't.
They've been very kind to us.
We do want them to renew.
Yeah. Very good.
Then again, I have done business with you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're friends with everyone, right? All the good people. We're friends
How's
with all
Amy
the good
Thompson
people.
doing?
Good, real good. Yeah, we just hired a new.
Is that the
business
same Amy
development
Thompson
person.
that's dating John Sunderland?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't keep up on.
Yeah.
on
Your Facebook
Construction
gossip.
industry romances.
That's right, that's
but
right.
I'm sure some people on Uncut are going to go to
There you go.
do
They'll
demands on
know.
it.
Yep.
Are
Get some
you dating?
responses.
If it's not, sorry, John, Amy, because they outed themselves on Facebook. I just noticed that. I'm like, I wonder if this is-
If you guys aren't dating, Trent just made it really awkward for you.
What do you say?
You want to know if so-and-so is dating so-and-so, and he asked it on Omaha Uncut.
Yeah. I'm sure they love being called so-and-sos.
Well, I'm
Affectionately.
trying to keep their names confidential.
It's not just about real estate, it's about romance.
It's a gossip show.
But it would be growing along, growing marriages,
There you go.
growing relationships.
That reminds me of your moment of glory inside the U.S. Census Bureau office in D.C. a few years
What year
ago.
was that?
That would have been like 08, 09.
Only
sort
Jeff
of.
would.
Yeah.
It was the federal fly-in for the chamber,
Yeah.
and we went to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so we go to Washington, D.C. as part of the chamber group. There were probably about 50 Omaha business people and politicians that went. And they had this idea, even though it wasn't consistent with U.S. Census Bureau rules and regulations, but this idea of talking the federal government into declaring Omaha and Lincoln into one metro area.
Huh.
So then we could, have a little more population, attract some other businesses, retail, restaurant, that sort of thing. And so we go, we have this meeting, and there's the chief statistician of the United States, and she was very much an in-charge person, big personality, kind of
Matronly.
kind of authoritarian in a way, and a big presence. And but that wasn't enough to keep our friend Trent from falling asleep in the middle of
Hey, we flew we had to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning or something. It was crazy.
That's funny.
and we could see him. I was sitting here around a conference table, and then there was another row on the outside. He was in that other row, and I could see his head going. And I remember saying to the person next to me, "He's gonna go. He's gonna go." Oh, to be continued.
That's funny.
But there was a real story behind that.
Yeah, you're gonna love this.
And welcome back to the show, Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid here. And we're going to talk a little bit of construction, some projects, namely. We have with us Ryan Saywall. He is the Nebraska market leader for McCarthy Building Companies. They're out of St. Louis, but have an office here in Omaha. Ryan, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I love your program. Love the new newsletter.
Thank you.
Pretty awesome.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you saying that about the newsletter and the show. And so, yeah, we're going to jump right into it because McCarthy Building Companies, you guys have a lot of things going on around the Omaha area. And the first one I want to bring up before I turn it over to Trenton is a project that you guys have going on near 132nd and L Street-ish area, not far from where your local office is, because we've had a couple listeners inquire about this.
Okay.
But there's some grading going on. It is north of the Sam's Club, west of like Omaha Track, south of Tommy's Express Car Wash.
Yep, right.
What's going on in that area?
So we're building that project. It's actually not right across the street from our new office, but kitty corner. And it's General Fire and Safety's new headquarters, and so we're excited to partner with them and build that new project. It's going to be a great building. It's actually a funny story. So DLR was a designer for our new office building, which is just very close by. General Fire came in and they were looking for a new spot. Actually, Trenton helped us find the land for our new office building, and
it was a pleasure. Right across from Tommy's Car Wash,
and represented General Fire too. I think. In
I represented the seller of the land.
The seller. Yep.
Ryan Keel worked with General Fire, but yeah, go ahead.
And so they came over. They were looking in the area. They love the area. It's a great area. And they came in and knocked on our door and said, "Hey, we love your building. We'd like to tour it." And so we walked them around, and they're like,
"If you let us build it,
this is exactly what we want." And so DLR designed their building, and we're building it for them, and hope to deliver a very similar building for them.
You guys can come home for lunch.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
They just walk pretty much next door.
Even better than our building, they're going to have a golf simulator area in there. So we've made a deal that we can use their new space. So
make an extra set of keys for yourselves.
That's right.
No, that was a great. I worked with Terry Peterson and Rick Russell on those lots, and I sold out over there. But there's some great projects. Ray Anderson Inc. is going to have some new buildings there as well. So the neighborhood's filling up.
Yeah.
And your building is beautiful. It was a pleasure to work with all you guys and you and Amy Thompson and some other people. And so that's a project. But McCarthy Building Company has been around for, 157 years?
Yeah, 1864 we were founded. We're headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri, just a short distance away from where we're at, but our local office has about a little bit over 100 folks right now. It's funny, Trenton. When we built our building, we built it for some space to grow. We're already out of space, and it's been a little over a year that we've been in there. Hit the pandemic poorly with the timing of opening our new office, but we're excited to be back in full swing, and probably need to talk about more space.
I got you covered. But some really prolific projects. I remember a few years ago you started the Veterans the new Veterans Hospital down on 42nd and West Center Road. Yeah,
that was an amazing project. So I don't know if everybody knows about that project or not, but it was the first of its kind for the Veterans Administration. It was a Chip In for Vets Act. So it allowed public money to be paired with local money, and they allowed this program to capture 5 of these. There's only been one done, and that's because I think there's no other place like Omaha. The philanthropy in Omaha is amazing. So they took $56 million of federal money, added $30 million of local philanthropy, and pulled off this amazing project. So Leo A. Daly was the designer for that project. We were the builder. If you have not had a chance to go and see that, it's kind of hidden, but it is an absolutely beautiful building.
You sure there's a parking garage in front of it?
Yeah, they put a parking garage in front of it. It's kind of tucked back in there, but it is amazing.
But you won some awards on that, didn't you?
Yeah, so McCarthy has what we call a Best Project of Our Region award, and then every region, which we've had some amazing projects last year, every region submits for Best Project of the Company award. It's kind of the Stanley Cup for best projects in McCarthy, and we were fortunate enough to be awarded that project. So we have this giant trophy. Again, we need a new office. We got to fit all our hardware in there. But this giant trophy in our lobby of our new office, and it's pretty cool. We have a lot of awesome people, and
Well, kudos. And this is coming on the 20th anniversary of your local office.
yes, sir. It's exciting. So back in 2001, we started working. We worked with a lot of the local hospitals, Allegiant Health at the time, now CHI Health. All of their area hospitals. We were doing major expansions or additions on them, and they've been an important client for us ever since, and continue to grow our presence here. And we actually have here locally, we have over 50 Nebraska grads that work for our company. And some of those don't work here in Omaha, but like one of our leaders out in Las Vegas built the new Raiders Stadium.
Wow.
He was the leader of that. Yeah, pretty cool project. And the things we're doing in Omaha is pretty amazing too. It's awesome to have local talent and a lot of energy and excitement.
But McCarthy Building Company is not just healthcare and schools. Well, actually, you're doing the new Buena Vista Bison.
That's right.
As their mascot on 60th and L Street. That's a huge project.
Yeah, that's right. It's
That's going to be done by next year.
Yeah. We should be largely done this year, and then it won't be till the following school year that they actually see students. But we're going to be mostly wrapping up by the end of this calendar year. Really awesome building. The principal at 42nd, not 42nd. It was Norris Middle School. Mm-hmm. She is the new principal. So we worked on the renovations and addition there at Norris,
Perfect.
and so we're excited to work with her again. We're also building a middle school for Omaha Public Schools at 42nd and Y. Really cool project there. So that one's coming out of the ground. That'll be about a year behind the high school.
So McCarthy Building Companies are not just schools and hospitals.
Nope.
What other fields do you play in?
So here in town, we just wrapped up Elliott Equipment Company, built a new headquarters.
The old Bemis bag.
Yes, sir. We renovated that for them. That was an exciting
Glazers
project.
are nice people.
But really,
Can I jump in on that Elliott Equipment Company?
Yeah.
How big was that project? And because I've always noticed that building whenever I drive by on I-80, a very distinctive building.
Yeah, it's I forget how many square feet that building is, Jeff, but it is amazing what they have. So they build truck-mounted cranes, and so it's a complete assembly line. So we took that old building. There was no new space, but we renovated the entire entire building. It's huge. And so they pull a truck crane in, and they put all the parts and pieces on it in an assembly line and out the door to their customers. So we call that market advanced technology and manufacturing. So pharmaceutical companies fit into that, pharmaceutical manufacturing like Elliott Equipment Company. And really, so we gravitate towards the technical and complicated projects, the ones that need speed to market, that it seems impossible. Those are the kind of projects we generally get involved with. And then we're working on the projects that support our communities, the schools, the hospitals, all that important infrastructure. So as COVID, kind of put some challenges into our community, we really were we were in a good spot because we were doing a lot of things that were essential to our communities, and so our business kept on ticking.
Were a lot of the other McCarthy offices around the world, were they jealous of how Omaha stayed open on their construction?
We did have some issues out in California where things shut down. But for the large part, our business model across the country is similar to what it is in Omaha here, and so we largely kept going. But we kept going in full force in Omaha, and Omaha is a great place to work. So
absolutely.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate you joining us and sharing some of these cool projects that are going on. We always love to get these updates of a handful of projects because we constantly have listeners saying, what's this, what's that, what's that? So appreciate you being with us, and continued success to you and your colleagues.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan Saywall from McCarthy Building Companies. When we come back, it's going to be the lightning round, and I'm looking at a lot of things on the list as usual, so you're not going to want to miss any of this cocktail party discussion fodder that is on your way. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Good job. All right.
Thanks.
Good stuff.
So I mean, the camera's off. I mean, we can't see the screen now, but we saw it when I asked
Yeah,
about
because when it starts, it just shows the image, but yeah, you're not supposed to see the image. But
Okay.
it's
Roster.
recording.
So you want to finish the story for the Uncut
Oh, yeah,
listeners?
yeah. So
Here you go. I'm throwing myself under the bus.
I can see him going. And I said to the person next to me, he's going to go. And then, but then I forgot about it, and a couple minutes went by, and all of a sudden I hear this noise, and he snaps his head back and hits his head on the wall.
Oh no.
And this chief statistician stops, looks at him and says,
Oh no.
"Are we keeping you awake?"
Oh no.
And Trenton says, "Fresh as a daisy." So she goes on to tell us that it was so nice of you all to come here, but there's no chance Omaha and Lincoln will be the same metro area, because I already knew that because I read the Census Bureau rules. And they're like, but good luck to you. And then all of a sudden, this guy who fell asleep in front of everyone says, "Wait a minute, guys, I've got the perfect plan." He goes on some tirade about like getting people to have more sex so we can
procreate
people and
I
grow our
didn't say
population organically and all that. And as the person who's known him for a long time, I was like,
That's
No,
funny.
wait.
hiding like.
We basically have to. We'd have to like mix our two cities or something, like the government or two.
No, though, in order for Omaha and Lincoln to become one metropolitan area, you have to fit the U.S. Census Bureau requirements, which means, or at least at the time, I don't know if it's changed, 25% or more of the people from the adjacent community have to commute into the primary metropolitan area or primary city. Now, I don't know if that changes someday because commuting is going to be a lot different.
What do we call it, Lenoma or something like that? Yeah.
Omalink. I don't
Yeah,
think we
that's
put
right.
Lincoln first.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We're 3 times the size.
Yeah, right.
Omaha.
Yeah. Omacombe.
Oh my God.
How about just Omaha and it could be a suburb?
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be more
All
appropriate.
right, we just lost. We lost.
We just lost 6 listeners.
I know. I was gonna say. I wasn't gonna go there. Sorry, Lincoln.
I don't, actually, in all honesty, we do have people in Lincoln that listen loyally, but they're probably
10
people who are from here.
Do you stick around for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
They're probably people who are from
You guys
here.
have
or-
like 10 minutes left in the
Okay,
next one. So
yeah.
you have plenty of time.
And welcome back to the show. Glad that you have joined us. Trenton Magid is sitting next to me, and my name is Jeff Beals from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. And this is the lightning round brought to you by Turner Construction. This is the part of the show that everyone kind of holds out for because we talk about a lot of things in a little bit of time. And we thank Turner Construction for sponsoring the show with over 150 full-time employees in this area. Turner Construction is the #1 builder nationally for healthcare, commercial, education, and pharmaceutical manufacturing. I've got their offices here in Omaha at the Mastercraft building, which is in the north downtown area. Some people now call it the Mercantile District, which I guess sounds a little bit fancier than north downtown. But they chose to go in that area because it is innovative. And it's kind of where a lot of companies are starting, and they're really committed to helping the city grow and develop. Not only do they like to help incubate companies and be a part of that creative environment, they're also doing a lot to bring people into the trades. If you are thinking about a construction trades job, you might want to look at Turner Construction. You can always find them online, turner.com. Well, Trenton, a lot of things on the docket, and we usually try to start with restaurants because I know I'm a self-confessed food addict. I think you've made the same confession.
We all got to eat.
And some of us more than others. But Lula Bee's Breakfast, Brunch, and Coffee, which we highlighted several weeks ago on the show, is now officially open for business.
At 9th and Dodge?
Yeah, if you can remember, there was an old local space, a local restaurant, which local still has other locations around town, but they also had one in downtown. They closed up that one, and then it was vacant for a little while. Then Lula Bees has gone in there.
Go there for your Stories Coffees selection, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, in fact, when we first reported it, they were calling it, I assume they're still calling it this, Lula Bees Breakfast, Brunch, and Bar Caffeinated by Stories Coffees.
Excellent.
But I've
you
not
get leaded or unleaded coffee there.
Sure, yeah, you got to have both. So I've not yet tried it, but I've heard from a couple people who have, and the reviews have been very positive. So we'll have to get down there sometime and have a breakfast, brunch, or a bar. So that's a nice step forward. Now, you mentioned Stories Coffee at the main location, 114th and Davenport. Have you seen the outdoor patio now?
Yeah, I saw it being poured. Now, that's something that I was in favor of when I wrote the lease. That totally makes sense. I saw the pad, so I got to go see the fence.
It is really nice. I sat out there for a meeting. First of all, it's just amazing how fast they can pop up a patio like that. And Stories has been an interesting success story. I mean, it opened during the pandemic or right before.
Which actually ended up being a benefit because people had remembered Stories from 180th and Pacific.
Yeah, you used to go there all the time.
Families, board games, all that kind of stuff. And it took a while. They got this one open and did an amazing job. There's that old Little King restaurant there. And what's cool about it is when it opened, and you got big competition. You got Starbucks across the street, but they were closed. I think maybe the drive-thru opened after a while or whatever. So
they wouldn't let you sit down.
Absolutely. There was a coffee shop that was closed in Exarban Village. And so basically what happened was people, whether they liked it or not, had to go to Stories, but that enabled people to see the quality of Stories and how great it was, and a great lunch and breakfast place, and just a great hangout. And then they do have I think a wine and beer license, so they have late hours, so the Nebraska dance parents can go next door during practice.
Mm-hmm. And everyone else. And next restaurant item on the docket is All Good Food. All Good Food.
Great guys.
So you know about this?
It's the same gentleman that and their mother that have Pita Pit over at L Street Marketplace.
Okay, because I have not yet tried this, but I was looking at the menu. The reason I bring it up, they just held their official grand opening within the last week or so, and it's at 2521 South 132nd Street. And the menu, I can't quite wrap my head around it. It's very unique in that there are lots of things that on first glance don't necessarily seem to go together. Like they'll have protein bowls, but then they have their big thing is saucy nugs, which I think would be saucy chicken nuggets. And according to a bunch of people that made posts on Omaha Food Lovers, apparently these saucy nugs are worth going out of your way.
I gotta go check it out.
They're pretty good. But you look at the menu, and then they have this beer that I've never heard of called Frio, and they've got on their Facebook page or anything that anyone ever posts or whatever, this Frio beers everywhere, and people are drinking. And they keep talking about this Frio beer. Never heard of it, and there are all these people with pictures of drinking Frio beer and saucy nugs. But
give it a try. But
everyone says it's great, so I've got to go give the place. It's just that the menu looks weird and unexpected. So give it a try. I've heard nothing but good things for it on Omaha Food Lovers, and I'll be popping in for lunch probably sometime this week. I think I've got some lunch. In fact, you want to go?
Love to.
It's not too far from our office. All right, speaking of things that are not too terribly far from the NAI NP Dodge office, the shops at Heartwood are being marketed for lease now. This is part of Heartwood Preserve. I'm sorry, lost it for a second. Heartwood Preserve, southwest of 144th and Dodge. Now, Heartwood Preserve has a lot of different elements to it. There is the 6.5-story Carson building, which is nearing completion. There's the Onyx car dealership, which has been open for some time. There's the Valmont World headquarters, which is nearing completion. There's a senior living thing. There's plans for a big mixed-use Exarban Village-like project in the middle. There's an 18-acre park planned for the east side. This would be probably about, 5 to 10 acres immediately south of the Union Bank building that's under construction. So the Union Bank building, if you've been by there, those are the three concrete pillars. They're probably elevator shafts and stair towers. That'll be a 5-story Union Bank office building, but right south of that is where the Shops at Heartwood is going. So it'll be interesting to see how all these pieces and parts of Heartwood Preserve go together.
Yeah, Lockwood Development, very excited for them. They bought about 8 acres there, and they're looking for restaurants. They're looking for shops, retail, and incredibly capable company, and I'm excited for Lockwood's new development.
Dundee Bank is doing a new location in Little Bohemia, and they have refurbished the old Bohemian Cafe parking sign that was across the street from the old Bohemian Cafe. If you want to see a picture of that, check out the Grow Omaha Facebook page. And speaking of the Grow Omaha Facebook page, our own Brad Williams, whose photographs we regularly post, is going to be in Countryside Village today and tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to head over there.
For an art fair. And he's going to have his photos available.
10 to 6 today, 10 to 5 tomorrow. But check out Brad Williams. Unbelievable. Meet the man, the legend, and the incredible talent known as Brad Williams. USA
Today did a Reader's Choice for best zoos and best zoo exhibits. I do have some bad news for you. The Henry Doorly Zoo came in only 3rd.
Wow.
Should have been first place.
Always.
However, the Asian Highlands exhibit at the Henry Doorly Zoo was rated the #1 single zoo exhibit anywhere in the United States, according to this USA Today Reader's Choice poll. So that's pretty cool. It beat out the Tiger Crossroads at the Nashville Zoo and the Rocky Mountain Wild at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. So
that just shows you that when they visited the Henry Doorly Zoo and they went to the sea lion exhibit, they didn't know there was the underground. Have you been to the underground at the sea lion exhibit?
I still have not seen it.
Oh my gosh.
So
not only is there a great water feature and you see all this outside, and I think it's the Walter and Suzanne Scott, in addition to the Walter and Suzanne Scott, everything else, the sea lion exhibit, you walk underneath in this area, and there's benches there and stuff, but there's this huge glass wall, and you can go up and play basically with the sea lions, and they're coming up to the glass, and there's very playful, and it's the coolest thing ever, and that, in my opinion, beats even the Asian Highlands exhibit.
Well, and a lot of times these types of Reader's Choice contests are basically what community and what attraction does a better job of getting their fans to go out and vote.
Exactly. No question about it.
But nevertheless, it is a nice feather in the cap for the zoo to keep getting these types of recognitions.
We're definitely world class.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I do love going there. I just haven't been for a while because of the pandemic. It was hard to go, but I have a zoo membership. I need to go down there sometime in the next couple days.
Kind of our job to go.
Yeah, kind of is. I'm slacking. Well, that's it for this week's show. Thank you to Turner Construction for sponsoring our lightning round. And next week we'll have another great one for you. Be sure to subscribe to that Grow Omaha newsletter on the growomaha.com website. In the meantime, I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to us on News Radio 1110 KFAB, and the show has been sponsored by D&M Roofing and NAINP Dodge. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on your favorite radio station.
That's how the sausage is made.
That is. It's ugly.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.